So the big question is this: how do you lose all the weight that you want and actually keep it off for the rest of your life, while trying to make sense of all the noise that comes from the weight loss industry? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers.
G'day guys, and welcome to the next episode of the Weight Loss Secrets podcast. My name is Baron Grant and I'm wrapped to be with you for another day, another tip, another trick, another idea that's going to help you to be able to make all the changes you want in your life so you can lose the weight and keep it off. And as I mentioned on the last podcast, I have a special guest with me and I'm really excited to have him on today. So I want to say hi to Craig. How you going, brother?
Yeah, good, mate. You? All good?
Yeah, very, very good. Very good. I'm really happy to have Craig on with me because he's going to share with us his story of how he lost 19 kilos over the last 9 weeks, which just thinking about those numbers is off the chain anyway. And so he's done an amazing job. But we're sort of break down his whole journey and what he did and how he did it. And how he did it with no pills, no potions, no surgery, no counting calories, no nothing. Am I right?
Spot on.
Awesome. And so I think a good place to start is maybe if you can, Craig, if you can tell us a bit about yourself, what do you do for work, and then sort of maybe what led you to, getting started with me on the program.
Yeah, no problems. For work, I do windscreens. I've got a little windscreen business, so I'm mobile, go around fitting windscreens in cars. It's a pretty physical sort of job. Where I found myself getting on to the program was my whole family. We've always, my whole immediate family, we're all overweight. We've all been overweight, all are. I'm not so much now. But I went on I've always battled with weight. And when I was younger, I played, a lot of sport and I was fairly fit and healthy. I, in the gym for 2-3 years, like flat out, and I was a good runner. I was fairly fit. And then that just sort of dissipated with not playing sport. Got an office job for a few years in the middle there. And before you knew it, I was over 100 kilos. But I went just recently, I went on a golf trip. I'm a keen golfer. I love playing golf. And went on a golf trip with family and friends for my nephew's 21st, actually. We went over to Tassie and I roomed with my brother. And he came out the shower and I was just like, I am not going there. That's next level. And I knew at that point I had to make, it was sort of a bit of one of them moments where it just sort of come upon me. I thought, I need to do something about this. So that split second, so many things went through my mind. I thought, as soon as I get home, I'm doing something about this because I don't want to get to that point. He's probably, 50, 60 kilos overweight. I don't know exactly, but I just thought, you know what? I need to do something about it, and I want to inspire my family to show them that this is possible. Not that I even actually thought it was possible to do what I've done in the time I've done it. To see a 7 pop up on the scales, which I haven't seen for over, I think I worked it out, it was 33 years, is amazing and something that I didn't think was achievable. But yeah, so that's sort of how I got to mentally. I had, 3 or 4 days away in Tasmania and I just kept thinking about it. And I was like, this is not okay. Like this is, so that's what made me act.
Yeah, I love it.
Made me act.
And I think us blokes, we don't act as well on this sort of stuff. So we need to see something, we need to experience something, and then we go, oh, that's it. I've got to stop. Like this is going to change. Yeah. We almost need a moment. So what was your starting weight when you started on the program? What was your starting weight?
97 kilos.
And what did you weigh in today as?
98 and a half. 78 and a half.
78 and a half. We haven't gone up. So you've lost the better part of 19 kilos over the past 9 weeks. Now, I think that is, first off, that's an unbelievable achievement, right? And I think that's amazing. Interestingly enough, your story is cool because you actually just found me off this podcast, right? So you were listening. Yeah. How did you find the podcast?
Well, I got home and I said to my partner, I'm doing something about this. So I just started listening to podcasts, and there's so much information out there, and it's so hard to pick what's real, what's not real. There's fasting, there's keto, there's just so many things. And a good mate of mine, Paul Burke, who he was doing keto and lost a heap of weight. So I rang him, I spoke to him. I'm not sure that's right for me. I just didn't like the sound of the high fat things, and it just didn't sit with me. And then when I come across your thing, and you're pretty much, I heard, it's no bull crap. You tell it how it is. I like that, it's honest. It's the honest truth. And that's sort of how I parent, how I've coached junior football. I'm honest. And, I think that's the best way to be. So I listened to, for probably 3 or 4 days, I listened to a heap of your podcasts, and I thought, I think I'm going to give you a ring and see how this goes. So, and then after speaking with you, I think it went for an hour and 15 minutes, our first chat. You give me the confidence that, this is going to work. I'm going to do it. So I give it a crack, but still not believing that I would be at where I am today. And I've still got 3-4 kilos to get to my goal weight where I want to be, but it's going to happen. I've got no doubt. If I was a betting man, I'd put everything I own on it that in, a few weeks, I'm going to be in my goal weight.
100%.
And I know that. But
there's no doubt about that. But I love that you said you didn't think it was possible. But then even towards the end of the program, I remember we had that discussion, and you said, Baron, I didn't think it was possible anyway. Even at the start of the program, as I started losing weight, I just still didn't think I was going to get there.
No.
What changed? Why did you get there? What changed in your head?
The biggest thing I think is you see the scales moving and you feel better all of a sudden. I'm talking short term, 1 week, 2 weeks. First week I lost 3-4 kilos. Second week, another 2.5 kilos. So in 2 weeks I've lost, 5, 6, whatever it was. It was a big number that had taken me a month in previous attempts to lose weight.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I'm 2 weeks in, I'm going, wow, I've just lost 5 kilos. So, I'm nearly into the 80s. And I was like, that was a big thing, because I'd only done that once in the past 30 years, So I got down into the mid-high 80s and then blew out again because it wasn't sustainable what I was doing.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing. And the other thing was your positivity. Like every time, I spoke to you or I got your voice message on, on WhatsApp, you were positive, and you're like, you're going to get there. So having that positivity continuously, I was like, this is actually going to work. So and with the program, how do you say, pick 3 people, you got to evolve what you're going to do. I rang my dad and I said, so week 1, I love my dad, I said, Dad, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to be 75 kilos. He goes, oh, you'll never be 70. You'll never be 75 kilos. You can. But I use that as one of my motivators. I've got, in the bathroom, I've got a big sticky note. Dad said you can't do it.
I love it.
Every day. And when I got in the 70s, I rang him. I said, hey, Harry, guess what? I'm in the 70s. He goes, good stuff. But hey, you'll put it back on. Don't put it back on. I said, not happening.
Perfect. I'll whack that one up on the wall as well.
Yeah, he's just old school. But so the big thing was, actually seeing it move fairly quick, the weight, within 2 weeks. And then the 3rd week, it just keeps coming off. And then I would say from the 3rd week on, I enjoyed the process because I started believing. And then once I believed, it was enjoyable. Like I was loving it. Like I'm getting up, I'm walking, I'm running, I was loving it because I knew it's working. So I'm like, I'm going to embrace the whole journey and I'm going to try and enjoy it. And I am. To this day today, I enjoy. I went for a walk. It was rain, hail or shine. I don't care. I'll go for a walk because I love it now. It gives me that space to think about work, think about my family, think about everything. It just gives you good thinking time.
So you said that you listen to all those different podcasts and that so many things where you don't know what's real, what's not, and so much of that stuff is complex. How complex was this process? Was it complex?
It's not. It's really simple, and I think that's why it works. Well, I don't think. I know that's why it works because you don't have to go to the health shop. You just go to Woolies or IGA. I live in Emerald. There's just an IGA and a Woolies, and they've got everything. They've got everything you need, and it's just I just wake up in the morning and look at it and go, oh, yeah, well, we got yogurt and berries, or no, I might have a couple of eggs. I feel like just depend. I just switch it and swap it. And
perfect.
It's just, yeah, I find it really simple.
Yeah, no counting calories, no weighing and
No,
measuring
no.
everything.
Well,
It's
I've
too
done
hard.
that. I've done counting calories, and you know, you cheat when you count calories because you go, oh God, I feel like that pie. I wonder that'd be 600. Oh, that'd be 500 calories. You have it, and then when you count your calories later, you go, oh, that was I'm only a few hundred over, but that all matters. It all, you know.
Of course it does. It blows out.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, all right, so there's two main parts of the program when you were on it that I'd love to talk about. Number one is you lost, so I want to re-emphasize, you lost 19 kilos in 9 weeks. Like it's freaking awesome. You see people doing your Weight Watchers and your Jenny Craig, and they get on TV and they're like, I lost 4 kilos in 8 months. That's that sort of stuff,
Yeah,
right? But you lost 19 kilos in 9 weeks. And what is more impressive about that than just the number is 11 days of the program you weren't here. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is I talk to people all the time and they say, I'm going away, Baron, in 3 weeks, so I probably can't start the program now. And I always say to people, something's always going to happen. There's always stuff in the way. There's always stuff there's weddings and holidays and stuff that you have to just work around all the time. But you went not just with family, you went with your mates over to Singapore for 11 days. And normally that, I imagine, would have a large amount of drinking and eating garbage food. But tell me about what happened on that trip and what your result was at the end of it.
Well, I was worried. As I spoke to you, I said, Baz, what should I do? Because I know I'm going to be having beers. I'm going to see my mate for his 50th. We're going to be having beers. We're going to be going out for dinner. There's a little hawker market around the corner that's got the best curries and the best sumai and all the things I love. I'm like, this is just going to be hell. But so I went over there with a bit of a plan, and you just said, try and steer clear of your rice and your noodles and stuff like that. So eat fish, and so that's pretty much what I'd done. And I tried when we were having a beer. I limited my beer. Like I probably drank half as much as if I would have, previously. Still had a great time. I found not drinking alcohol at all is a good thing. Like I was drinking not every day, but every probably second day in Singapore. We go out and have beers at the hawker market, or we go to the pub and watch the footy, and we'd have beers. But I just made sure it was always low carb, or I drank whiskey on the rocks, so I picked the low calorie alcohol. And then with the food, I just made sure that they were lower calorie. Like I'd get fish curry and I'd pick the fish out, and I had the fish and I didn't eat all the sauce. And I still loved it. It was still beautiful. You still get all the flavors. And in actual fact, after not eating all the sugar, I found everything really sweet. So my taste buds have changed a heap. So I wasn't demanding them, them sweet things anymore like I have in the past. So it was. I still had an absolute ball. I didn't miss out on any. I don't feel like I missed out on anything. In actual fact, I'd say it probably enhanced the trip because I remember the whole trip. Like it wasn't any blowout after I got up in the morning. But geez, what happened there? It was awesome. And then I got home and I picked up my steps and I started jogging over there. Like because of the time difference, I was waking up for the first 3 or 4 days. I was waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I was getting up thinking, it's 28 degrees all the time there, like morning, day, night, doesn't matter. So I got up and went for a walk, and then second day, and I thought, geez, I might go for a bit of a jog here. And I haven't jogged for years because I've had issues with my feet, chronic arthritis, and and isn't it funny? All of a sudden, I've lost weight. I've got no issues with my feet. I can run. I've got no pain.
Isn't that unreal?
Yeah, and I've been diagnosed with all sorts of stuff. And
half those diagnoses is the bull crap. It's losing weight. Yeah. It takes all the pressure off your joint.
That's right. So anyway, I got back and jumped on the scales, and fingers crossed, and I'd lost 1.5 kilos. So that was I was like, yes, this is awesome. Yeah.
And I think what that highlighted to me is that you can still have a good time, but you can make good decisions. And the reason that we gain weight is we make bad decisions about our food. That's it. There's nothing else to it. We just make bad decisions, and we try to convince ourselves that we're making good decisions, but we're not, or it's someone else's fault. And so I love that you just took control and said, I've got this. I'm not going to eat crap every day. I'm going to do the best I can. Walk loads, drink lots of water still, and you still lost 1.5 kilos, which I think is an unbelievable effort, because you could have gone and blown out completely over that course of that period of time.
Look, it was easy drinking water over there. That's one thing that's easier when it's
Yeah.
warm. When it's cold, I was smashing the water over there. Yeah, it was easy because it was so hot. But
yeah, of course.
when it's cold, it's a lot up. But I find I drink warm water now. Like, I'll boil the kettle and pour it in a glass, and I have it warm. In the cold weather, I like having warm water, which is
there you go.
Yeah, bit crazy, but no,
that's fine. It's good. Water's water. I love it. Doesn't matter if it's cold or warm. But I think that was just a real cool experience that you actually lost the weight as well. Now, we'll just clarify. I normally don't have people drink any alcohol on the program, but I like the fact that I'm not trying to get people to never drink again. That's not my intention at all. And what you showed by doing that is that you can still actually lose weight if you're doing everything else right. Now, but it's good to go without it for a while, let me tell you, and everything happens a lot faster. Now, the other thing that I really liked about your journey on the program was that I remember towards the end, when you were sort of getting towards the 70 kilo mark, or into the 70s, you were like, Baz, it's been 5 or 10 days and I haven't lost any weight. What the hell's going on?
It sat around 80.5 for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. I was like, I just wanted to see it, and it just wasn't popping up.
70. And so it was, but the thing I loved about it, I spoke about this, I'm not sure if you listen to this podcast, but I spoke about this yesterday on my podcast. And so I actually use you as an example, because so many people that I work with, they'll get to a point and suddenly the weight holds, and it holds for a week. That's not a plateau. That's just your body's got a bit of inflammation, or it's just holding up, and it's nothing. But some people get really concerned at that point, and they start to freak out, and they sort of go, oh, it's not working. But what you did was, you contacted me and you're like, tell me what I got to do, Baz. Like, what am I going to do? I've got to get to 70. And there was no sort of complaining about it. So tell me about your headspace at that point, and then what changed for you to even go a little harder to make sure you got there.
Yeah, well, I was getting frustrated with it, because I just wanted to see the number, and you get impatient. And so I sort of got up in the morning and didn't see the number I wanted, and I was like, Jesus, this is really doing my head in. And I've got a great partner, and she just said, you'll be right. Like, just call Baz, tell him you might need to just change something up. And you just said, stick to the process, send me pictures of your food. So I'd done all that. And then from doing that, I think I realized I was probably having a little bit too much I was snacking on protein. Like, when I was feeling hungry, rather than having a big glass of water, I was grabbing some chicken out the fridge, and I was probably doing it 3 times a day or 4 times a day. It adds up. That's right. So what I realized from sending you photos of everything I ate for 3 or 4 days, I was having the water instead of grabbing some more chicken, because I actually wasn't hungry. I was thirsty, and I think you can get confused with that,
Yeah, big time. Great call. And I say that a lot. We think we're hungry, but the reality is we're not going to gain weight unless we're eating too much energy. And so if we're gaining weight, we're eating too much energy. So we've got to peel it back a little bit. And that's exactly what you've done.
Yeah. So I pretty much, I tried to up my steps. I tried to do a minimum of 30,000 a day for the next, week. I just wanted to break that number. So I just ate, super clean, and which I do all the time, but I think I was just having a little bit too much. And there would have also been a bit of inflammation, because I was doing a lot of running at that stage.
Oh, that's when you hurt your knee as well.
Yeah, my knee blew up, and so I stopped running. I've been running back since, and because I love it. It's something that I always miss doing, because I was always sore. So I didn't run for about a week and a half, and ate super clean, and made sure my water was up and everything was good, and bingo, the number come up. So it was great. So I just tried to, I felt like I knew I could do it. This is the whole difference with this program. I know I can do it. I've just got to do it. I just got to commit to doing it. And the process is the process. Do the process, it'll work. It's not rocket science, And I know.
I love that you said that. There's some people that I talk to, and they come to me, and when they say I've got hormonal issues, and I'm not trying to make people feel bad or anything by that, but I always say to people, it's not if this program works. It works every single time, but it's just if we work, if you do the things that you need to do every day, and you'll get it done. And you just got to trust the process.
And being totally honest with yourself, like, when I made the first call to you, I said to my partner, I said, stand here, I'm going to put it on speaker, because if I'm talking any crap to him, you pull me up and tell me right now, because I want to be honest, but sometimes the past becomes blurred when you think you're fit, you're not fit, you think you're fat, it's just all, so I said, just
You think you eat good, but you don't.
yeah. So you just, if I start, stretching the truth at all, you put me up right now. And I said, I didn't lie, did I? She goes, no, you didn't. It was all, so I'm like, yeah, good, because I don't want to, I've got to do this properly. So
yeah, good call. Really good call.
Yeah.
So what would you say, you're at the end of the program now, and you obviously know everything you need to know to keep going, but what's going to be different this time, do you think, in your ability to be able to keep the weight off?
Well, there's probably a couple of parts of it. Is how good I feel. Like my body feels amazing. I get up. I'm an early riser now. I wasn't really an early. I mean, my work-life balance is pretty cool. I probably work, I don't know, 3-4 hours a day generally. I would wake up at 8:30, 9 o'clock. Be tired still. Then I get home and have a nap. We're up at 6 o'clock, 5:45 every morning now. I feel amazing. And then, at 8 after brekkie, I don't know, I get this funny feeling of like, I don't know how many times I've texted my missus and said, I feel so good. I feel amazing. Like I just feel great. And I think it's a big portion of not drinking is a big part of it, alcohol. The second one is, the clean food. And the third one is the exercise, just that mental well-being of exercising gets all the, I don't know what it does to your blood, or it just makes you feel good. Getting out in the sun or the rain, or I enjoy all the conditions. So yeah, and I think knowing the food, like getting back to how I'm going to keep it off, it's going to be easy now because I know the food. So I was actually prior to this, we were on a walk and said, well, how are we going to sustain this like forever? I said, well, I know the brekkies I'm going to have. I can have eggs, I can have, the smoothie. I know the things I can have, and I know the things I can't have too much of. I'm not going to have 3 pieces of toast every morning with smothered in peanut butter. Every now and on the weekends, I might have eggs on toast with avocado and a heap of bacon, but it's going to be on the weekend. It's not going to be every week, every weekday. And for lunch, look, I've loved the tuna salad. It's going to be easy because there's a heap of different things. Like for breakfast and for lunch, for me, are probably the hardest ones because everyone seems to be in a hurry in the morning. But now I enjoy that morning time. I get up, I cook my eggs, I have me hot lemon water, and I'll continue to do that because I enjoy doing it. It sort of gives me a bit of a kick in my step, and so I think it'll be easy. And then just on the weekends, like I proved in Singapore that you can still have the things that I used to enjoy, but you know what? A lot of them things that I used to enjoy, I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy them as much anymore because that sugar, the sweetness in like there was a curry that I love. I go to Singapore, see my mate a bit, and there's this Indian curry, and it is the greatest. Well, I had it last time I was there, and I was like, my God, this is so sweet now. I just can't stomach it. Yeah. So, and I couldn't. So I picked the chicken out of it and I picked the veggies out of it, and that was more than enough. So I think the foods, I'm going to have to find different foods that I love now because a lot of the other stuff is probably too sweet, I'd say.
And that's why everyone's overweight, right? So that's why 70% of Australia is overweight, because we have eaten so much of that sweet stuff for so long, and we've got to make changes. And I think that I said to a lady today, you've got to change your palate. You've got to start experiencing different food so that becomes a staple.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't think I'll struggle with people. Well, I know I'm not. So every time I've gone from the 90s to the 80s, I go, that's it. I'm never seeing 90 again. And now it's like I'm never seeing 80 again. Never. I'm going to get down to 75 and see how I feel at 75. And if that's my weight, I'll get down to 73 and I'll just play between 73 and 75.
That's the one. And then you can go 5 days on, 2 days off, eat your good stuff for 5 days, have a blowout on the weekend. You'll be okay, and you can manage it for the rest of your life. And that's a healthy way to live. And so I love that. And so what would you say to people who maybe have watched my videos or my podcasts and they're not really sure because they're like, this bloke might be a bit of a scam, what would you say?
Well, it's so hard on the internet when you're looking for someone to, invest your time or your money or whatever it is to lose weight. It's because there's so many different options out there. This is simple. It's honest. There's no bull crap about it. It's just do your steps, eat the right food, do your walking. It comes off. You don't have to run. You don't have to, you don't have to go and do CrossFit or anything like that. It's just, I just find it really simple. It's sort of, you look at it now and you think, why is there all this other crap on the internet? Because there doesn't need to be. Like, if people are really honest about it, you just got to do these things. And it will, like, if I go back 9 weeks and I go, I'm 97 kilos. If you said in 9 weeks I'm going to be, in the 70s, I would go, yeah, I'd love to hear that, and I wish that would be true, but I never thought it would be. But this works. It works to the point where if I want to be 65 kilos, I can do that too. Yeah. I just keep doing the same thing, and it'll happen.
And it's funny. It's like you turn the tap on and then you turn it off when you're ready to turn it off. That's literally what it is, right?
Yeah.
So you can be whatever you want to be, and that might sound fanciful, but it takes effort. And I think I always say there's a magic pill when it comes to weight loss, and that pill's consistency. And that's what you've done. That you were consistent every day, and that's how you lost the 19 kilos in 9 weeks. And so I think you deserved every bit of it. One thing before we finish that I want to show, and I'll edit this in after, is there's a picture that you sent me a few weeks ago now. So you've lost even more since then, but it was playing golf. And so I'll be showing this picture now, and you can see the difference between, before the program and then, at about 8 weeks or 7 weeks on the program, really.
So the first one was on the 5th of January, or the 7th of January it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So big
and
difference.
But it's the gut that I see the difference in.
Yeah. I was talking about my golf swing.
Yeah, can you see the difference in my golf swing, Baz? But no, the difference is stark, right? It's such a huge difference. And so I bet it's more comfortable now than it ever has been. So
it's awesome. Yeah. One thing I wanted to touch on just before, I found the first week not difficult, but a little bit challenging. But then the second week, I thought, well, I've already done a week. So the second week was fairly easy. And then the third week I had that, that big result, like it's 7, 8 kilos, whatever it is. Then all of a sudden it's easy because you see the rewards. So then you go, yeah, this is good. This is easy. Let's just do it. So that's what I would tell other people that are looking to lose weight. Do it for 3 weeks and see what you think. And once you do 3 weeks, you're done. You're in.
You're in because you've lost all the weight. You've lost a bunch of weight and you're away. And so much is in our head, right?
Oh, it is.
When we don't believe we can win, we won't win. And you've got to force it a bit at the start, and then it'll go. And then the whole thing changes. Your whole view of everything just changes, and the belief comes. It comes and you start
you become a little bit, oh God, we were so, like, that's all we spoke about on our walks. It's like, yeah, this is going to be great. I'm going to be 82 kilos on Friday. And then, it was, and like, it was just.
And your partner lost a bit of weight as well, from memory.
Yeah, Diana, she's lost 14 kilos.
Oh.
Like, yeah, from
I know.
70,
I think maybe she was on the phone. Maybe she was on the phone once at the start. I think she might have said hello on the phone as well. But I haven't spoken to her the whole way through the program.
Yeah, no, she smashed it. Yeah, so she's gone from 74 to 60. I think she's 61 and a half or something at the moment. Like,
how's she feeling?
Amazing. Yeah, same. We just walk around and go, and have a look at us. We're like the king and queen.
Have a look at me, mate.
It's really cool. We feel amazing. Yeah. I
love it. Oh, I'm so proud of you, Craig. I reckon you've done an amazing job, and you deserved every bit of it because your attitude has been so good all the way through the process. And it was just, when it got a bit tough, you just dug in even harder. And I reckon that's the
holes in your runners and.
Oh, that was the best. Yeah. So Craig had, what was it, a blister or something from walking?
Yeah, I went over Easter. I was walking in the rain and I got satched. And so my shoes were wet, my feet were wet. And then I rubbed pretty much all the skin off my little toe. So then for the next, and I was trying to get that 7, right? So I was not stopping. So I thought, I can't walk. So I got my runners and I just cut a big hole so I could hang my toe out the edge. It was still raining, and then a great way to get steps up is play golf in the morning, go for a walk in the arvo. So I even had to cut a hole in a pair of my golf shoes. So, it got me there. It was good.
See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call committed to the process. But I love that though, because you got to do what you got to do. You can sit on the couch and go, "Oh, my foot's sore, I'm not going to do anything." Or no, I can cut a hole in the side of my shoe and I can go for a walk. Like, is it extreme? Yeah. But did you get the number? Yep. And how do you feel about it? Freaking awesome. So, I think I love the attitude. I love the approach. And look at that. In 9 weeks, you've lost 19 and your partner's lost 14 or 15 or whatever it was. That's a serious amount of weight lost out of your home in the last 9 weeks. So well done to both of you. That's a terrific effort. So that's really the end of the podcast, but I'm really grateful that you came on, Craig. Thanks so much for sharing your story and being so honest about it, and just running through your experiences. And yeah, I'll get this all compiled and whack it on. So thanks so much for your time, and thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back with some more. Well, I'll be back tomorrow with some more tips and ideas to help you lose weight. Thanks so much.